The Israeli army saying it could seize all of Gaza after getting cabinet approval to expand its offensive there. The IDF has begun calling up tens of thousands of reservists. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's security cabinet has voted to scale up the offensive against Hamas and holding its territories until the militant group is defeated or agrees to disarm and leave. An Israeli public broadcaster says the new plan is gradual and will take months to execute, with forces focusing first on one area in Gaza. The newly approved plan is expected to move Gaza's civilian population further south and also comes with provisions for aid distribution. Israel's security cabinet minister says expanding the offensive will only begin after a visit by U.S. President Donald Trump to the Middle East next week. Israel already has control of a third of Gaza after ending a U.S.-backed ceasefire and resuming ground operations in March. A total blockade on aid, though, remains in place. Hamas warns Israel's new framework for aid delivery amounts to, quote, political blackmail. It also blames Israel for the humanitarian catastrophe in the territory. Gaza's Civil Defense Agency reporting at least 19 people killed in 2 Israeli airstrikes in the north. 4 others were injured. And more, Blake Sifton joins us live from Tel Aviv. Blake, Israel's security cabinet approving that plan to expand its ground operation in Gaza despite pressure to end its offensive. What's the end game here?
This expanded Israeli ground operation that's expected to see the call-up of tens of thousands of reservists is expected to see Israeli forces entering previously unaffected areas of Gaza to seize and occupy territory. It's being viewed as an attempt by the Israeli military to pressure Hamas into agreeing to a deal to release the remaining hostages held in Gaza, these 59 hostages, of whom 24 are believed to be alive. The operation is not expected to begin until after President Trump has concluded a visit to the Middle East, which begins next week. However, simultaneously, it's also being viewed as a change of focus by the Israeli government away from prioritizing the release of the hostages as the war's central aim to destroying Hamas as a political and military force. Indeed, last Thursday, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that victory over Hamas is now the war's top aim. Additionally, to accompany this ground operation, we're expecting to see a new mechanism for distributing aid into Gaza. Of course, Israel has been blockading all humanitarian aid from entering Gaza for over 2 months from March 2nd. What's believed to be the case for this new mechanism would see aid being distributed by contractors and possibly humanitarian organizations to specific individuals and families in Gaza, rather than in a wholesale manner, which saw aid warehoused. This is believed to be a desire by Israel to keep aid from reaching Hamas.
Oh, Blake, putting pressure, though, as you say, on Hamas could carry some degree of risk for remaining hostages. And as you say, that number for those living has been put at around 24. But Israelis who want to bring hostages home, that would be a concern. How have they reacted to this news of this expanded offensive?
That's right. The family members of the hostages held in Gaza are completely outraged by this new development, by this possible expanded ground operation. They believe that it will put the lives of their family members held in Gaza at risk. And they are also outraged at this idea that the Israeli government has essentially forgotten or perhaps betrayed their loved ones and are moving away from releasing them as a central aim of the war to focusing on the destruction of Hamas. Separately, we're beginning to see growing discontent amongst Israeli reservists, many of whom have served multiple tours in the 19 months of this war, both, of course, in Gaza, in Lebanon, and other parts of this conflict. In recent weeks, we've seen letter-writing campaigns by some reservists urging the government to conclude the war and focus on the release of the hostages. And when it comes to this suggested new mechanism for distributing aid, the condemnation of that has been pretty clear across the board by humanitarian organizations and by UN entities. They believe that this idea of targeting aid to specific individuals rather than flooding it into Gaza in a wholesale manner, as had been done before, is completely untenable and will not work. Speaking to contacts in Gaza, it's very clear that hunger and the humanitarian situation there has never been worse.
Thanks, Blake Sifton there reporting live from Tel Aviv.